The retailer Marks & Spencer has had to apologise for posting an outtake from its Christmas advert to Instagram. In it, 3 paper crowns can be seen on fire, but some users said they resemble the colours of the Palestinian flag, and they say that it's an anti-Palestinian message.
Yeah, M&S has now deleted the post, saying it never intended to cause any offence and was sorry if it had done that. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict can be a divisive topic, finding it difficult to find common ground.
Well, Lindsay Simmonds is an Orthodox Jew and Julie Siddiqi is a practising Muslim. They run a network that aims to bring communities together. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Thank you so much for coming in, because obviously, you know, it's a situation that's got so many headlines, isn't it? And I know you've done this special event in Westminster Abbey where you wanted to bring people together. You wanted more understanding between the two communities, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we thought that there's so much out there in the media that's very negative and hostile, and war, as you know, travels. And we have a network that enables us to give people space to talk about things in a safe way. And Westminster Abbey kindly hosted us. So we brought together Muslim and Jewish women so that we could speak with them and share with them some messages of hope, some messages of collegiality, but most importantly, I think, are messages of friendship. You know, this is when friendship is tested, you know, and, yeah, we were very pleased with the event, and I think people felt it went very well.
Julie, how important did you feel it was to do it at this time in particular?
Yeah, I think, look, people are just looking for, you know, some sort of hope. You know, if everyone feels hopeless and helpless, you know, for me, my friendship with Lindsay is really important to me. You know, it's even more important at times like this. We've known each other a long time. And, you know, I think we have a trust between us that we, you know, feels very valuable, and even more so for me right now. And bringing women together in that way, you know, felt very special. And they felt the trust in the room. And people spoke about how it felt like an oasis, and that they felt nourished and their shoulders dropped for the first time. So, you know, the pain and the realities of all of this and how it's impacting people is very, very real. And, you know, I'm seeing that a lot. So it felt like a moment that was very important for those of us that were there.
It is a very tense, febrile situation, isn't it, Lindsay, what's going on? And you've seen Marks & Spencer's inadvertently put this post out that was an ad campaign that they filmed back in the summer, way before any of this happened. And they put a post out that never intended to cause any offence, but people were offended by it. Straight away apologised, withdrew it. But, of course, that's upset some people as well, because they're saying, hold on a second, that was never your intention. It had nothing to do with this conflict. Why on earth are you buckling to this? M&S is saying that our intention was never to offend anybody, and if we can stop that, then you can understand why they're doing it. How hard have you found it coping with the sort of the tribal nature of what's happening, you being Jewish and what's happening to your people, and of course, you know, the Palestinians and what they're struggling with in Gaza?
So I think the people tend to want to take sides. I think it's an easy option, and I think definitely that Julie and I feel very strongly that this is an incredibly complex situation. There are multiple truths, and our role is to enable that concept of not avoiding difficult conversations, ensuring that those hard conversations can be had. You know, we've known each other for a long time. Friends, you know, they hold each other to account. We don't agree on everything, but we disagree well, we argue, but we argue with generosity, we argue with love, we argue with trust, we argue with hope. But I think giving people the space to be able to talk about things that they're having to avoid. Their communities also hold people to account, and so we also have that. We have that responsibility. But I think that enabling people to have a space where they can argue well is one of the best things that we can do in these very difficult and very challenging situations. It's easy to be friends in the ordinary, every day. It's when it's the extraordinary, challenging times that I think friendship is held and tested.
I think for me also, you know, I mean, it's not binary, you know, and I think, I remember right from, you know, 7th of October onwards, you know, I felt the pain that first week. I felt the pain because I have so many Jewish friends. So, you know, for me, don't make me choose. Don't make me, you're either with us or against us. Don't make me do that. I'm not going to do that. I refuse to choose It's not about that, you know, humanity. I met, you know, Noam Saghi last week, his wife. His mother, 75, they still don't know where she is. She's one of the people that was kidnapped and hostage. You know, I cried with them. Of course I did. You know, then I look at it and I think, you know, I've got young adult children myself. They go to festivals like that festival. You know, this is not a kind of box people in. You're either this or you're that. I don't feel that. And I think it's really important for us to see the humanity in all of this. You know, the way the people in Gaza are suffering right now is so painful for so many of us. You know, I can feel the pain in the messages and the videos and the, you know, you mentioned about the advert, and it's because there's so much emotion. People feel so helpless and hopeless. You know, the marches, or call them protests, call them marches, whatever, for me, that is about the outpouring of this helplessness and feeling people need to be a voice. I know so many people on those marches, you know, to kind of label it in a certain way is not helpful either. So I think this kind of binary with us against us, I'm not going down that route. I refuse to do that, you know, because that doesn't work for me. You know, I care about all of this. It's innocent people that are dying, and all of it matters. So, you know, to sort of, you're Jewish, you have to care about this, and you're Muslim, and maybe if you're not either, you don't know. You know, I just don't... I think all of us are suffering right now at what we're seeing.
And that sense of humanity, I'm thinking, as women of faith, we get to look at our scriptures and hear our leadership. And I recall very vividly at this point the former Chief Rabbi Lord Sachs, who always spoke about the beginning of Genesis when... if you believe in this, God says, let us make man in our image, human beings, you know, in the image of God. And I always think, and he commented specifically that means that everybody who is not made in my image is still necessarily made in the image of God. And as people of faith, you know, that means all of humanity. And our care for all of humanity should be the first thing we're thinking about, rather than taking sides. And I think there's a humility in that. There's a humility in quieting our own voices and making space for the voice of other people comfortably.
Thank you both so much for coming in and talking to us, you know, so movingly. It's a special friendship that you've obviously got.
Very lovely.
And it's a really special message, I think, actually, that you're able to give to people about trying to come together at such a difficult time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well done on the work you're doing.
Thank you.